All right, and we are live. Back in the normal setup. Send this out and we'll start. Hello, welcome to the stream. Gonna be starting very soon. All right. Set up one more thing and we're ready to go. All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 33 of Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. For today's episode, we've got MLB Weekly Recap. We got NBA wrapping up the second round that ended in a mess. We did get game sevens, but both were wreck and leaving questions to be answered for the teams that lost. And we're going to be going over the NFL schedule coming out. Or not coming out. That came out. Not going through all of the weeks, but just going through some of the key games to look out for when it comes to the schedule, comes to this coming year. All that and more. Other news, I'm actually very close to monetization on audio via Anchor system. So if you watch my content on YouTube and maybe you're not following me on any of the audio platforms, or you know someone that would want to listen to it on audio platforms, I'm on Anchor. They have a way you can listen to podcasts. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. All the links to audio ones that I'm on are in the description under the link tree. Go ahead and follow. I'm like 5 followers away from starting to get monetization in there. Not sure how exactly monetization works, but it's close enough that I'm starting to prepare to set that up as soon as it happens. As of last I checked, I am, or not as of now, as of the recording of the podcast, I am only 5. I think it's followers from all the apps. I don't know exactly how it works. By the way, 5 of those from starting to get monetization from Anchor. So that's something big. I'm not gonna have other stuff outside of today's content. I'm probably gonna hold off on a guest until Yankees mostly for a multitude of reasons. One, I'm actually going to be going to Chicago for a few days in a few weeks. And even though that week has a few matchups that could be like have guest worthy, I'm gonna have to figure out when we do that week with the podcast. But aside from that, there's no matchup where either I know someone good enough to bring on or like I feel like bringing on. So I'm gonna hold off, even with Cubs White Sox coming next weekend and on the South Side this time. But I'm gonna hold off till Cubs Yankees because Cubs Yankees I plan to go big. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. I don't have more updates as regard to the MLB player coming on the podcast. As soon as I do know an update, I will mention it on the podcast. But I don't have any updates as of right now. Also, this week is the last week I'm gonna be without the intro and outro song for the podcast, as Lagba Omer is actually on Thursday, and I only keep first days. So once after Lagba Omer next week, I'll be back to having intro outro song on the podcast. So that will be back next week. So, anyways, let's get into it. Let's start off with NFL schedule. So, last Thursday, the NFL schedule for this coming season came out, and it definitely has definitely some interesting placements for certain games, international games also. Oh, something that was interesting that I didn't write down in my notes is I think most, if not every team that has an international game, their bye is not the following week, which usually if you go to London or you go to Germany or anywhere for international game, uh you usually will have a bye week the following week, but none. I think maybe one or two, but most of them don't. So very interesting. Hello, Hank. I mean, for like my own, obviously, I'm excited for like the Browns, like as a Browns fan for Browns, but like they're playing Carolina, so not much like of a game. Other than that, either between the first game of the season between Bills and Rams or Russell Wilson's return to Seattle, I'd say those are like the two big ones I'm like most excited for with the opening week of the NFL. Good question though. So, anyways, I'm just gonna go through. I went through all the 18-week schedule. I did not go through preseason because I don't care about preseason, and there's no need to care about it. If you want to look it up, you can. You can see what teams are playing who. But again, it's not much of a matter, anyways. So, key matchups to look out for week 1. The season this year starts off on September 8th with the Bills visiting the defending Super Bowl champions, LA Rams. Hank, I might wait till closer to the season to talk about realistic expectations for the Browns this year because I'm hoping realistically that I can have a guest to like preview their season closer to when it starts. So maybe not this episode, but definitely as we get closer to the NFL season. Uh, so maybe not this week, but and also like a big factor that it will depend on is Deshaun Watson, whether he's going to get suspended or not, which the way with how the Browns schedule is formatted uh, does not look so good because of there's not much intriguing matchups he'd be missing, at least for the first few weeks. Browns don't have like a big game for like first few weeks, so we'll see what happens. I'm not ready to make predictions for any games yet. I want to wait till we get closer to week 1. If I had to make right now, yeah, I don't even know if I could. I would love to say I could, but I just rather hold off till we know what the rosters are going to look like fully. The whole off season's over, and we're just basically at week 1. So sorry, Hank. Uh, but I will have predictions for week 1 at some point, just not at the current moment. Anyway, so that's the first game of the season. Another game, and then the other game I note here is Denver at Seattle, which is going to be Monday night, one of the first Monday Night Football game of the year on September 12th. That game will start on September 12th. Notable week 2 games. All right. Notable week 2 games. Miami at Baltimore with Tyreek Hill. Then again, how good Miami is depends on how good their QB situation is going to work out this year, but that could be an intriguing matchup. And then Tennessee at Buffalo. Tennessee at Buffalo. Miami Baltimore games on September 18th. And then Tennessee at Buffalo, one of 2 Monday Night Football games that week. The other one's not as notable. And that's going to be September 19th. For week 3, Ravens at Patriots on September 25th. And also that day, you have Packers and Buccaneers. That will definitely be an interesting one. Week 4, Miami at Cincinnati. Part of it, I guess, in some ways you could say, because at one point they were like, that for past years they had been battling for 2 of the worst for who gets the number 1 pick in past, or down and who gets a better pick. But then also with, obviously depending on QB with Miami, that could also be a good matchup in itself. And that's going to be September 29th. October 3rd, we get the first London game, Vikings against the Saints. That's going to be the first one. Yep, that's also it's a notable game I have on here. Chiefs at Buccaneers, also going to be October 3rd. Sunday Night Football. It's going to be very interesting rematch of Super Bowl 53. By the way, Hank, who are you a fan of? While you're still here in the chat. Anyways, another notable game, week 4, Bills at Ravens, also September 3rd, and Patriots at Packers, October 3rd, and Patriots and Packers all also on that same day. Week 5, the next London game, Giants against the Packers. And that'll be October 9th. And then the first intriguing Browns matchup of the year, because I did not include every single Browns matchup on here. Oh, okay. Nice, Hank. And 49ers fan. Interesting. Yeah, that's a very fair confliction with their QB situation right now, because for people, just to give, I guess, context to everyone, the Niners QB situation, obviously last year Jimmy Garoppolo shined, but he had been in talks that in the offseason he might not be with the team any longer. At this point, he might stay, especially now that people are saying Trey Lance has not been looking so good in practice. So who knows what's going to be with San Francisco. I guess we'll find out as we get closer to week 1. Good luck with that QB situation. That's all I can say. Also, week 5, Chargers at the Browns on October 9th. And then the Cowboys at... Oh, that's also true. Deebo Samuel, whether he gets traded or not. Underrated. I almost forgot about that for a second. That's a whole nother mess. That is true, Deebo being their most important player right now. Give me 1 second. I don't know what I was doing here. So I wrote LA in my notes for the Cowboys week 5 key game. I wrote Lakers somehow. I don't know why I did that. I'm not even asking questions. Yeah, I meant to write Rams, which makes more sense for an intriguing matchup. But that will also be week 5 on October 9th. For week 6, Patriots at Browns on October 16th, and then Bills at Chiefs October 16th. Rematch of that crazy playoff game we just had last January. Week 7, that will also be October 16th. Week 7, one notable game I found in them, Chiefs at 49ers, rematch of Super Bowl 50. I think I'm misnumbering. I don't know at this point. A rematch of Super Bowl from... No, that was Super Bowl 54. Buccaneers Chiefs was 55. I don't know why I'm mixing up these numbers. I should not be mixing up the numbers. That is my bad. Anyways, that matchup is going to be week 7 on October 23rd. Week 8, Thursday Night Football. We get Ravens at Buccaneers. Lamar Jackson versus Tom Brady. That could be October 27th. Then we also get the third and the last London game this year. Broncos at Jaguars on October 30th. Also, week 8, we get the Commanders. Carson Wentz playing against his old team, Indianapolis Colts on October 30th. And then, as just mentioned in live chat, Sunday Night Football, you get Rodgers versus Josh Allen. That will be October 30th as well. And then Monday Night Football, when I was going through Nobles, I will say I avoided most divisional matchups because I'm saying most divisional matchups are like key highlights anyways. But like certain ones like Carson Wentz return to Philly or Browns Bengals, which like I wouldn't note it if not for the fact that it's gonna be the first time they play each other since last year, but also it's on Halloween night, which is gonna be very interesting in Cleveland. Halloween night, October 31st, Monday Night Football for week 8. Those are the week 8 notable matchups. Week 9, we get the rematch of the one of the NFC divisional round playoff games. Rams at Buccaneers on November 6th. And then also Titans at Kansas City on November 6th as well. That is Sunday Night Football, though. For week 10, the Germany game in Germany. Seattle Seahawks against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That game will be in Germany at 9:30 a.m., the usual time frame for their international games. Which NFL rookie are you most excited to see this season? Do you want me to give one for like Browns and for NFL in general, or you want just NFL in general? Because it's gonna vary depending on what you're asking me from. So it depends on what perspective you're asking me from. But it is a good question though. Anyways, getting back to okay, both. So Browns. Honestly, kind of David Bell is like one I guess I would say most, because then again, like the Browns draft was really odd this year. I'd probably say Bell. In general, I would say Olave or I'd say Olave. I'm interested to see how he does. What's it called? Olave, Rucker, what am I playing? Garrett Wilson, Aiden Hutchinson. I'm definitely interested to see how that goes. Good for him that he's back in Detroit. That he'll be in Michigan. He's not leaving the state where he played college football. Worked out for him. Not every rookie could say that. I mean, really, I'd say a lot of first round picks. I'm interested in seeing how they do this rookie season. But very good question, Hank. And thank you for the question, and appreciate it. Anyways, so also week 10, and by the way, the Seattle Tampa game is gonna be November 13th. Also, November 13th, the Browns at the Dolphins, which obviously a lot of the Dolphins games depends on how the QB situation works out, but that could be a good matchup. Dallas at Green Bay also that week on November 13th. Yeah, I hope so also. I mean, he's probably not going to be like start like the main corner, but I do also hope Emerson works out. And I'm not, and by the way, when I like say like, oh, specific names over others, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be excited. I'm not excited for like them. Oh, like I'm excited for like any rookie, even with the Browns. They're just definitely some more than others. I'm excited for, like especially if they're bigger names than others, the more bigger names. But yeah, I do hope Emerson works out as well. Anyways, also in week 10 on November 13th, the Chargers at the 49ers. And you have Carson Wentz's return to Philly, Monday Night Football on November 14th. Week 11 notable games, Thursday Night Football between the Titans and the Packers. That's be November 17th. Is Emerson going to be a Denzel Ward type? It depends on how they plan on putting him, I'd say. It depends on how they place him in the defense. It's definitely tough to say. You're saying I'm assuming when you're asking the 5-year, $100 million, you're referring to Denzel Ward. If so, he definitely deserves. I definitely would say he deserves a big contract. He's definitely been one of the best Browns corners since he's been with Cleveland. Did they overpay? I don't know if they. I mean, I'm not sure if I would say they overpaid, but I think he definitely was deserving of a big contract. Not sure about was he. I don't know. It's a fair question about maybe too much money, but he definitely deserved to get a big contract, a big payday. And at some point, you knew they were going to lock him up. It was just a matter of getting it done and when. But fair questions, and I'm happy that I always enjoy when there are people in live chat, and obviously even non-live chat. And I can understand if you can't come live, whether you have work or something. But I always enjoy both, and it's why I go live. I go live because I want to be able to interact also live with people that come in live. So it's double the fun for me that not just when outside of when I'm live, I can interact, but even when I'm live, to be able to interact is always fun. So I appreciate it, Hank. Thank you. Anyways, and then the other notable game is Browns at Bills, week 11 on November 20th. Week 12 is the Thanksgiving games this year. November 24th, Bills at Lions at 12:30, Giants at Cowboys. Cowboys at 4:30, and then Patriots at Vikings at 8:20. Those are the Thanksgiving games. I am also. It's going to be interesting to see how he pans out. And it's also going to be interesting to see how they're going to work the wide receiver room now that Landry's not coming back, as in who you're going to put at the slot wide receiver for the Browns offense. And I don't think Cooper is going to be the slot. The question is just going to be who. Whether it's Bell, Jones, or Schwartz, I have no idea yet, but we'll see what happens. But definitely be interesting. Cooper definitely has the path to succeed in Cleveland. It's just a matter of will he or will he not. And obviously it also means will he be able to stay healthy. But anyways, other notable Week 12 games, Buccaneers at the Browns on November 27th and Rams at Chiefs on November 27th. Week 13, the one notable game is Deshaun Watson's return to Houston for the first time since getting traded on December 12th. Week 14, notable game is, or it might be week 13. I want to relook this up. I think I might have made a typo. Might not have had either. I had either only one for week 14 or none for week 14. Oh no, I didn't have any for week 14. And then another notable game from week 13 is Chiefs at Bengals on December 4th. Week 15, no notable one for week 14. Play bell slot. It could be that's what they do, and not necessarily against the idea. They'll probably, what I'm guessing is they'll probably use the preseason to like try between Schwartz, uh, Jones, and Bell at slot, and whatever they feel work best in the preseason will be what they use in the regular season. But it could be right, and they go Bell in the slot. We'll just have to wait and see what happens at the end of the day. Week 15 notable games: Patriots at Cardinals on, which is Monday Night Football. Week 15, and then on December 12th. Hold on, something's up with. I'm noticing a bunch of typos I made here. Sorry that I'm like taking pauses here, but I'm like noticing a bunch of typos I've made here. Oh, I see what it is. So New England, Arizona is actually the one notable week 14 I had, and then week 15 one is Cincinnati at Tampa Bay. That's what happened. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Sorry about that. Uh, Anyways, week 16. Most games are Christmas Eve. There are a few Christmas. One notable game from Christmas Eve I wrote down is Bengals at Patriots on December 24th. And then for the Christmas games that were notable, the Christmas games, well, not really, but the Christmas games are Packers at Dolphins at 1, Broncos at Rams at 4:30, Buccaneers at Cardinals at 8:20, and then Monday Night Football that week is Chargers at Colts at on on December 26th. Week 17, a few notable games, and this is the last one I took of notable games because week 18 is all divisional games. Dallas at Tennessee, Thursday Night Football on December 29th, and then Rams at Raiders on January 1st. Rams at Chargers, Battle of the LA teams in the same stadium on December 1st, and then Bills at Bengals Monday Night Football on December 2nd. Those are the notable games from the schedule. If you want to know certain team schedules or the schedules by week, go to NFL.com. They have the full schedules for all teams and all weeks by team or by week on the website. So let's get into the NBA now, transferring from NFL talk to the NBA. As the NBA second round officially wrapped up over the week since we last talked, well, let's wrap up. So, Miami Philly series. Miami ended up winning in 6, taking game 5 120-85, and taking game 6 99-90. Philly tried to put up as much of a fight as they could, but in the end, Miami was able to beat them out. Philly tried to make a last-second charge in game 6, but was not enough to beat Miami, and Miami moved on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Phoenix and Dallas. Phoenix took game 5 to go up 3-2, heading to Dallas 110-80. Lost game 6 in Dallas 113-86. I'm a Bulls fan. And if you're going to ask about why I'm Chicago and Cleveland, I don't explain it really much. But I'm a Bulls fan in NBA. But good question, Hank. But yeah, anyways, Dallas evened up the series, heading back to Phoenix for game 7, which was like, finally we get a game 7. But I don't know what happened to Phoenix. They like flat out disappeared. And the most embarrassing part for Phoenix of all the things that happened in that game was by halftime they were down 57-27. They had 27 points in total in the first half. Luka had as many points as they put up as a team in the first half. That's how embarrassing of a loss it was. They completely choked. I think this was Chris Paul's best chance and last chance to win a ring. I mean, I hate to say it, but this might have been it for Chris Paul. Maybe he comes back next year and with Phoenix and maybe they pull something. But if you ask me, I think that was their best and last shot. But anyways, Dallas moves on to the Western Conference Finals. That is true. Dallas's role players definitely stepped up for them. But it's like hard to explain, like, I don't know. And even I'll admit, like, I had Phoenix in my predictions, I had Phoenix winning it this year. And like after game 7, I was just stunned. I'm still stunned. I'm still like trying to process game 7. And I've seen the highlights. And that helped me try to process it, but I'm still processing game 7 of that playoff series. Anyways, though, Dallas moved on to the Western Conference Finals. For the Milwaukee series, Milwaukee won game 5, actually making a bit of a comeback in game 5. I think they were down 14 at one point. Oh, okay. I actually had Suns in 5, though, not in 7, but nice to see another person who actually also had Phoenix at least getting past the second round. But Milwaukee won game 5. Robert Williams was out again for Boston in this game. I think he pretty much was out for the rest of the series after game 4 or even game 3. But Milwaukee won game 5, 110-107. Lose game 6 at home, 108-95, and then lost game 7 in a game that Boston had in control pretty much most of the way. I wouldn't say the entire way because Milwaukee did have a lead at a point, but Boston was mostly in control in the game, winning game 7, 109-81, and they will be facing Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I actually had both in my original predictions going to the Eastern Conference Finals, so that prediction is fully correct. The West, I had neither team correct, actually. That is true. Losing Middleton was huge for Milwaukee. But, like, I don't know. It was really the whole Milwaukee-Boston series was a weird series to try to unfold and process. Give me 1 second. But we'll see what happens with the rest of the Eastern Conference Finals. I am sticking with my prediction. I have Miami winning the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm going to stick with I have Miami in 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals going to NBA Finals. The West I'll get to in a minute with that prediction. So when we last left off, predictions for Celtics Heat tonight, based on the fact that I have Miami winning the series, I would like to see them win game 1 tonight. That's what I would answer to your question. Good question. My answer is based on what my predictions were for game 1. So I have Miami winning game 1 tonight. That's fair. That's a fair call. It's a series you could go either way, Boston, Miami. And it's also a rematch. Better player, Butler or Tatum. I mean, I guess I would say Tatum. Though it's close, really. I would say Tatum. Whether who's better between him and Butler. Even though I have Miami winning a series, Tatum's definitely been shining crazy over the playoffs. Miami's been more of like all around playing well. I mean, Boston also has been all around good also, but Tatum's been a big shining piece of them. Butler, maybe not so much for Miami. Though he has been playing well, but not as much of a standing out, I guess, per se, as as for them with Miami. Miami. So when we last left off, the Grizzlies were down 3-1 heading into Game 5. They end up whooping Game 5, 134-95. This game was not close at all. At one point, Memphis was even up 110-61 in the third. An 80-point difference. Clearly, Golden State got a bit closer, but didn't matter for Game 5. But Memphis' attempt at a 3-1 comeback was thwarted by Game 6 as the Warriors won 110-96 to advance to the Western Conference Finals. So my predictions being right for series for the semifinals, I went 2-2. In lengths of series, I went 1-4. With my total record for the right teams being 15-2 and series lengths being 5-8. Conference Finals, Game 1 tonight. Tonight's Game 1 between Boston and Miami. That'll be on 8:30 on ESPN. I was even surprised that was starting tonight and not tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, 9 p.m. on TNT, will be Dallas at Golden State, 9 p.m. on TNT. So my new Western Conference Finals prediction. I've been stuck on this because on one hand, we have the Warriors, which even with how much they've lost since the dynasty's ended, they still have a lot of experience on their team from the Dynasty Warriors. You still have Clay, you still have Curry, you still have Draymond. But on the other hand, even with Dallas's inexperience, Luka has laying up. He broke out in Game 7. So like I've been stuck. Who's better player, Steph or Luka? I would still, even with how much Luka's been breaking out, overall, all time, I would say Steph. Though I think at some point Luka will surpass being better. But at the current moment, I would say Steph. But so I'm gonna say that this series goes 7 games. I didn't make a prediction before. I'm gonna say this series goes 7. I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I'll put it that way. It definitely won't be a sweep. I'm gonna say it goes 7. You know what? That is true. Luka can't afford to have a bad game, but Steph can and win. That's definitely true, especially with Golden State's experience. You know what? I'm going to be gutsy. I'm going to say Dallas wins in 7. It's gutsy, even with the point I hate just made. I'm saying Dallas in 7. It could come back to bite me, but I'm going to say Dallas in 7. That is my prediction for the Western Conference Finals. So yeah, that's the update for the NBA game conference finals start tonight, with the Eastern Conference Finals tonight and the Western Conference Finals starting tomorrow. And that's the NBA update. So now with MLB recap, obviously still sticking to cutting down how much I still say, which even with cutting down, there still was a lot of like key things from this week. But it's still, cutting down has definitely still had an effect on how much I do say for each episode of the podcast. So going MLB weekly recap since we last had an episode of the podcast last week. Last Tuesday, the Astros shut out the Twins in Minnesota 5-0. Justin Verlander with the win. Joe Ryan with the loss. Justin Verlander went 7 1/3 innings without giving up any hits to Minnesota. It was broken by Gio Urshela on a single. He ended up pitching through the 8th and faced in the overall faced the minimum 24 batters in this game. Angels shutting out, well, not just shutting out, no hitting Tampa Bay, complete game no hitter from Reed Detmers, 12-0 over Tampa Bay Rays. Reed Detmers with the win, obviously Corey Kluber with the loss. Reed Detmers' first career and first complete game no hitter this year in baseball in general. Anthony Rendon had a left-handed home run. He's normally a right-handed off Brett Phillips. Trout had 2 homers in this game, including one off Brett Phillips as well, leading the game as the Angels won that game. Yankees beating the Blue Jays at home 6-5. Wandy Peralta with the win. Jordan Romano with the loss. Aaron Judge walk-off 3-run homer. Stanton had a game-tying home run that was followed by, and yes, this is the controversial Blue Jays Yankees hit by pitch and near misses and the ejections. Oh wow! Thank you for that update, Hank. Brandon Lau of the Rays out at least 3 weeks due to stress reaction in his back. That's a blow to Tampa. We'll see. That could definitely impact Tampa. Just give me 1 second because I want to send this note to a friend. Thank you for that update, Hank. Very much appreciate that. Anyways, so then Josh Donaldson got hit by a pitch right after, which led to Yimi Garcia, the pitcher on the mound at the time, getting ejected without any warning. Which obviously Montoyo came out and was trying to make a case for not being ejected. It did not work out. And then Luis Seagull in the top of the 7th. Merely hit Bo Bichette by a pitch. It was like, and the Blue Jays tried arguing that Loaiziga should be ejected. And instead, Montoyo, the Blue Jays manager, got ejected instead. So yeah, that was a wacky happening with that game. Also in that game, George Springer tied Curtis Granderson for the 5th most leadoff home runs in a single leadoff homers in MLB history. And Yusei Kikuchi had a no-hitter actually through 5 innings, broken on DJ LeMahieu double that eventually a few hitters later led Stanton 3-run game-tying home run. Is the Yankees the best team right now? I don't know if I want to say best team. Are they? Or it's tough because what the Mets have over them is the fact that they won more consecutive. They went a long time without losing a series. But then again, like, all their bats are red hot right now. So, like, even in the Mets, a lot of their bats are hot. I would definitely say top 5. I'm not sure if I would say best. That's how I would answer your question, Hank. Anyways, Oakland beating Detroit 4-1 in Detroit. Adrian Martinez with the win in his major league debut, actually. Going 5 1/3, giving up 4 hits, no earned runs, 0 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Alex Faedo with the loss. Brewers beating the Reds in Cincinnati 5-4. Freddie Peralta with the win. Hunter Green with the loss. Josh Hader with the save. Josh Hader with his 500th strikeout in his career in this game, and he's also second fastest to that milestone. Behind Aroldis Chapman. Red Sox beating the Braves in Atlanta 9-4. Tyler Danish with the win. Kyle Wright with the loss. Josh Schreiber with the save. 6-run first capped off by Rafael Devers' grand slam. and a 3-run ninth, helping the Red Sox win that game. And then the last game from last Tuesday, the Orioles beating the Cardinals in St. Louis 5-3. Kyle Bradish with the win, Packy Naughton with the loss, Felix Bautista with the save, Cedric Mullins having a 4-hit game, Harrison Bader also having an inside the park home run in the 6th, and Brandon Donovan for the Cardinals having his first career home run. That is the recap from last Tuesday. Last Wednesday, the Reds beating the Brewers 14-11 at home. Alexis Diaz with the win, Adrian Hauser with the loss. Christian Yelich, so in Milwaukee's effort, hit his 3rd career cycle overall, and all of them were against the Reds, having a double, homer, single, and triple in that order to hit for the cycle. Hunter Renfroe also had a 2-homer game. The Reds having a 4-run first, 3-run second, 6-run 8th to help them win in this game. Miami hammering Arizona 11-3. Anthony Bass with the win. Mark Melancon with the loss. Alec Thomas having his first career home run in this game, but what helped the Marlins win, tied at 3 entering the 9th. Miami put up 8-run inning to shut the door, winning this game. Jake Stallings RBI single, Jazz Chisholm 3-run homer, Eric Gonzalez RBI single, and Avisario Garcia 3-run homer run to help them win that game. And the Nationals beating the Mets 8-3 at home. Anibal Sanchez with the win. Tyler McGill with the loss. 5-run first and 3-run second by the Nationals, helping them win. 3-run first by Mets, capped off by Pete Alonso. 2-run home run on the Mets side of things. The Rays beating the Angels in the game after the no-hitter 4-2 in LA. JP Fireeisen with the win, Aaron Loop with the loss, Brooks Raley with the save, Kevin Kiermaier homer to give Tampa a 1-0 lead in the same spot where he hit his first ever home run in his career back in 2014. Taylor Ward with a game-time 2-run home run in the 8th. Vidal Bruin RBI double and Harold Ramirez RBI single gave the Rays the lead and would help them win the game. The A's shutting out the Tigers in Detroit 9-0. Zach Logue with the win. Joey Wentz with the loss. Wentz gave up 6 runs in 2.5 innings. Mickey passes Boggs for 30th on all-time hits leaderboard in this game. The Braves beating the Red Sox 5-3 at home. Kenley Jansen with the win. Ryan Brazier with the loss. Trevor Story finally having his first home run with the Red Sox in this game. Orlando Arcia had 2-run walk-off home run after 8 days off in that game to help the Braves win. And then also on this day, we had the first ever game postponed because of, the thing I cannot say due to YouTube policy, postponing a game between the White Sox and the Guardians. I don't know when that game got rescheduled, but it definitely was out the next day. I'm just not sure when it got rescheduled to exactly. Anyways, so last Thursday, Mets beating the Nationals in D.C. 4-1. Taijuan Walker with the win. Jonah Doan with the loss. Mark Canha solo home run in the 9th. And 2-run single in the 1st. Tomas Nido RBI single in the 4th. Juan Soto solo home run in the 9th. And and then we had the whack double play in that game. Do I do recaps of all sports like boxing, UFC, soccer, etc., or any of those sports you like to cover? No, I don't. I just do MLB, NBA, NFL, college football, March Madness of college basketball. I don't do college baseball. I don't do hockey. I don't do soccer. I don't do boxing. I don't do UFC. I don't do badminton. It's just baseball, football, and basketball, and the colleges of college football and college basketball. Well, March Madness of college basketball. But I do not cover a lot of the other sports. So good question though. If you are new here, by the way, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with the podcast and leave a notification bell on so you're notified when I go live or post a video. Anyways, all right. So in the Mets Nationals game, Ohio State's my college football team, which I made the decision based on where I live. I partially live in Ohio, and I partially live in New York, and even including Chicago and other places I lived, Ohio State was the best college football team for me to follow. College basketball, I just follow March Madness in general. I don't have a specific team for college basketball. So, anyways, in this game, Taiwan Walker had a ball hit back. No, sorry, no. So, Josh Bell grounded a ball to third. Soto was trying to get to third, got picked off at third. Then Taiwan Walker tried to throw Josh Bell out at second base, but the throw went into right field. Marte picked it up and then ended up throwing out Bell at third base, and they ended up getting the double play. Oh. All right. Well, then I guess so. Nittany Lions fan. Oh, okay. Well, good to know. But I don't have none of the podcast stuff is I don't really ever. I'm hardly ever on the podcast, or at least I try not to be biased towards Ohio State or anything. So don't try to credit that to saying don't subscribe or anything. And also, I even say in general with podcasting, if it's a good podcast or show that you like and enjoy, no matter what team they follow, then you subscribe and you listen and you watch and you stick with it. And if you don't, then you move on. So if you enjoy my podcast, even if I'm a Ohio State fan, then just forget it. Then I'd say then welcome and keep watching and listening, whether on YouTube or on audio. And if not, then that's up to you. I mean, it could be that you don't think the way I think, and either way, no matter fandom that you won't watch or I don't know, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. I'm blabbing too much about it. I think I went on too much about it. Anyways, the Astros and Twins had a game which started on Tuesday, had to be pushed off and finished on Wednesday. The final score in that game was Astros 11, Minnesota 3. Brian Abreu with the win. Chris Archer with the loss. It was suspended after 3 innings. 6-run sixth by Houston to help them win this game. What are my thoughts of CJ Stroud? He's a solid quarterback. He definitely has room to work. I think he's a good starter, but again, though, there is a lot of room to work, and there's definitely a lot to improve on. And I was happy pretty much. I was very happy with his season last year. But again, like I said, there's a lot of room to work, and hopefully he improves for this upcoming season. But good question, Hank. Anyways, getting back to the recap. Houston beating Minnesota 5-0 in the second game, the regular game for that day. Luis Garcia with the win, Josh Winder with the loss, Jordan Alvarez 2-homer game in that second game. Reds shutting out the Pirates in Pittsburgh 4-0. Connor Overton with the win, first career win in his career. J.C. Brubaker with the loss. Tyler Stevenson 3-hit game, including a solo home run. Yankees beating the White Sox down. Though, yes, the Yankees and White Sox met this over the weekend. Yankees won the first game 15-7. Jonathan Lysigo with the win. Joe Kelly with the loss. Giancarlo Stanton 2-homer game. 2-run first by the Yankees, followed by a 3-run second by the White Sox, followed by a 3-run third by the Yankees, followed by a 1-run fourth by both teams, followed by a 1-run seventh for the Yankees, followed by a 3-run seventh for the White Sox, on 3-run homer by Yoan Moncada to tie the game, followed by a 7-run eighth and 1-run ninth by the Yankees to help them win the opener. And then the last game, the Phillies beating the Dodgers 9-7 after blowing another 7-run lead. Andrew Bellotti with the win. Daniel Hudson with the loss. Corey Knebel with the save. Bryce Harper had a partial tear in his UCL and now is going to be DH for a while. Homered in his first at bat of the game, actually. Philly took a 7-1 lead into the sixth. The Dodgers tied it at 7 with 1 in the third, 2 in the sixth, and 4 in the eighth. Philly then a 2-run ninth to help them win the game with a wild pitch and Bryce Harper sac fly to help them win that game. And that was the last game from last Thursday. Oh, the NBA draft lottery's tonight. I just got an alert about it. So just thought I would know that. If I remember for next week's notes, which I should hopefully, I'll write that down a note for next week's episode. I just got to remember to note that when I make the notes for next week's. Last Friday, the Diamondbacks beating the Cubs 4-3 in Arizona. Zach Davies with the win, Drew Smyly with the loss, Martin Lance with the save. 3-run top of the third for the Cubs with a 2-run double by Ildemaro Vargas and a sac fly by Rafael Ortega to take the lead. With a 3-run bottom of the third by Arizona, Ketel Marte RBI double, Christian Walker RBI single, and Pavin Smith game-tying RBI double to tie the game. A wild pitch that scored Rojas gave Arizona the lead in the bottom of the fourth, which they would use to hold on to win the game in the end, to win the opener of that series. Reds beating the Pirates in Pittsburgh 8-2. Tyler Mahle with the win, Mitch Keller with the loss. Brandon Drury and Mike Moustakas go back-to-back in 3-run top of the seventh. Drury had a 4 RBI game in general, including that home run he had in that with that back-to-back. Astros beating the Nationals in the rematch of the 2019 World Series in the opener of the series 6-1. Framber Valdez with the win. Josiah Gray with the loss. 5-run first by Houston. Jose Altuve leadoff home run. Bregman RBI double. Yordan Alvarez RBI single, who also had a solo home run in the third as well. Yuli Gurriel had a 2-run homer to help the Astros win the opener. Tigers beating the Orioles 4-2 at home. Noel Rodriguez with the win. Jordan Lyles with the loss. Will Vest with the save. First career save for Will Vest. Santander and Mancini went back-to-back in this game. Mickey passed Barry Bonds on the all-time doubles list and also passed Eddie Murray later on the all-time home run list. I will probably be noting a lot of Tigers games in the future because Mickey's probably be making a bunch of milestones in the next coming weeks. So just a note to know, there will probably be a lot of Tiger game mentions in the recaps. Anyways, moving on. The Rays beating the Blue Jays at home 5-2. Andrew Kittredge with the win. Kelvin Gausman with the loss. Jason Adam with save. Brandon Lau leadoff triple in the second. And an RBI triple later in the game in the eighth. Padres beating the Braves in Atlanta 11-6. Luis Garcia with the win. Will Smith with the loss. Taylor Rogers with the save. 3-run seventh and 4-run ninth, helping the Padres to win that game. Twins beating the Guardians 12-8. Griffin Jacks with the win. Aaron Tavalli with the loss. 9-run bottom of the fifth to win for Minnesota. Luis Rise into a double play that scored a run. Max Kepler RBI single. Gary Sanchez 3-run homer. Royce Lewis grand slam, which was his first career home run to help them win that game. The Yankees also took the second game of the series against the White Sox 10-4. Garrett Cole with the win. Vince Velasquez with the loss. Bench is cleared after a not-so-friendly tag on Josh Donaldson by Tim Anderson. Santana, Judge, and Gallo all homered in this game. Josh Donaldson with the RBI double in the second and a 2-run homer in the ninth to help the Yankees win that game. Giants beating down the Cardinals 8-2 in St. Louis. Logan Webb with the win. Jordan Hicks with the loss. 5-run eighth to win the game. Brandon Crawford RBI single. Edwin Longoria 2-run double. Kirk Casale 2-run home run. Royals beating the Rockies in Colorado 14-10. Dylan Coleman with the win. Kyle Freeland with the loss. Scott Barlow with the save. Do you have a call-in or a way for a guest to be on the show? I would discuss the NBA or NFL. I definitely could consider having you on the podcast at some point. It would just be a matter of trying to figure out when. Do you happen to have a podcast or anything in general, of your own? And also do you have Twitter or something so we can talk outside of just chat? Let me know in chat if you have any of those. But anyways, the Royals had a 4-run third and 4-run seventh to help them win. Rockies had a 4-run fifth, trying to help them come back, but they lost that game. Is the note to you have Twitter? Okay. So my Twitter's in the description in the link tree. Yeah, but it's in the description in the link. In the description, there's a link to my link tree, and then the link tree is my Twitter. So you'll find my Twitter in the link tree. So just use that link to find me on Twitter, or you could just look because it's not going to be under my podcast name, my Twitter account. It's in the description of my Twitter account, but my Twitter account's not under my podcast. So just use the link in the link tree down below to find my Twitter. So yeah. Anyways, Phillies beat the Dodgers 12-10 in 10 innings. Jair's Familia with the win. Bruce Dargaro with the loss. Francisco Morales with the save. 5-run third by the Dodgers. 3-run fourth by Philly, and 3-run 10th by Philly to help the Phillies win that game. Last Saturday, the Cubs beating the Diamondbacks 4-2. Michael Givens with the win. Mark Melancon with the loss. Rowan Wick with the save. Yan Gomes game-tying solo home run and go-ahead RBI single. Latter in 3-run ninth to help the Cubs win the game. Win that game over Arizona. Padres beating the Braves beating the Padres 6-5. Kenley Jansen with the win. Steven Wilson with the loss. 5-run top of the eighth off Jansen for a tie and lead for San Diego. 5-run bottom of the eighth for tie and lead for and win for the Atlanta Braves in that game. Athletics winning the opener of a doubleheader between them and the Angels on last Saturday, 4-3 in Game 1. Lou Trevino with the win, Raisel Iglesias with the loss. Luis Barrero with a 3-run walk-off home run, his first career home run. And in the second game, Angels whooped 9-1. Michael Lorenzen with the win, Adam Oller with the loss. Taylor Ward, third Grand Slam in 11 career ABs. Grand Slam in the first 5 RBIs also in the game. Ohtani with his 100th career home run in the fifth, which was a 2-run home run. Third Japanese player to hit 100 career home runs in MLB, joining Suzuki and Ichiro Suzuki and Hideki Matsui. The Nationals beating the Astros, ending the Astros' 11-game winning streak, which they got to 11 from the day before, ended there 13-6. Josh Rogers with the win, Christian Javier with the loss. Juan Soto is the fourth player in the live ball era since 1920 with 400-plus walks within first 500 career games in the third, which he achieved in the third inning. Max Bishop, Ted Williams, and Ferris Fain or something like that was the third name, were the other ones on the list. Blue Jays being the Rays in Tampa 5-1. Tim Mayza with the win. Ryan Thompson with the loss. 4-run eighth by Toronto, helping them win the game. Marlins beating the Brewers at home 9-3. Trevor Rogers with the win. Eric Lauer with the loss. 4-run fourth by Miami with back-to-back solo home runs by Jesus Aguilar and Jorge Soler. And then 2-run home run by Brian Anderson to help them win the game. White Sox winning the third game against the White Sox 3-2. Liam Hendricks with the win. Aroldis Chapman with the loss. Luis Robert RBI single to put the White Sox on the board first in the first, and the walk-off RBI single to help them win the game. And the Phillies beating the Dodgers 8-3 in LA. Ranger Suarez with the win. Julio Urias with the loss. 3-run home run by Gene Segura in the first. 3-run homer by Bryce Harper in the third. Kyle Schwarber and Rhys Hoskins solo homers in the fifth. Phillies' first series win at the Dodgers for the first time since 2014. Last Sunday, the Pirates beating the Reds without a single hit between multiple pitchers from Cincinnati. 1-0. Christian with the win. Hunter Green with the loss. Dave Bednar with the save. Their first team without a hit to win a game since 2008. Their one run was off a fielder's choice. Brewers winning the finale against the Marlins in Miami 7-3. Brandon Woodruff with the win. Eliezer Hernandez with the loss. Aaron Ashby with the save. Back-to-back home runs by Jace Beer and and Colton Wong helped them win that game. Rangers winning at home against the Red Sox 7-1. Martin Perez with the win. Ryan Brazier with the loss. Cole Calhoun and Adolis Garcia going back in the sixth, and both having two homer games in that game. And the last game from last Sunday, the Cardinals beating the Giants 15-6. Adam Wainwright with the win. Carlos Rodon with the loss. 4-run first and fourth to help the Cardinals win. Pujols actually pitched the ninth inning, going a full inning, giving up 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 0 strikeouts, to help seal that win against the Giants. And then yesterday, the Yankees beating the Orioles in Baltimore 6-2. Lee Severino with the win. Kyle Bradish with the loss. Donaldson and Rizzo go back-to-back in the ninth. Santander with the 2-homer game, one from each side of the batter's box in that game. The Cubs shutting out the Pirates 9-0. Wade Miley with the win, going 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 0 walks, 6 strikeouts, getting his first win as a Cub. Dylan Pierce lost. Wilson Contreras having his 100th career home run, which was a grand slam in the first inning, a part of a 8-run first inning for the Cubs in that game. And then the Brewers shutting out the Braves at home 1-0. Freddie Peralta with the win. Ian Anderson with the loss. Josh Hader with save. Peralta records his 500th career strikeout. Hunter Renfroe scoring on a wild pitch to give the Brewers their 1 run in this game. And that is the MLB Weekly Recap for the games-wise. Standings update in the AL. For the AL East, the Yankees are still in first place. They were in a 5-game win streak at one point, ended up losing it. Ended the period on a 2-game win streak, followed by the 21-15 Blue Jays in second place on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the 19-17 Rays in second place, followed by the Blue Jays in third place, 19-17 on 1-game win streak, followed by the Red Sox, 14-21 on 1-game win streak, followed by the Orioles, 14-22 on a 4-game losing streak. 1 second here. In the AL Central, the Twins are in first place, 21-15 on a 2-game win streak, followed by the 17-17 White Sox on a 1-game win streak, followed by the 16-17 Guardians on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the 12-21 Royals on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the 13-23 Tigers on a 4-game win streak. AL West standings, the Astros in first place, 23-13 ended on a 1-game losing streak. They did have an 11-game winning streak at one point in the time period. Angels, followed by the Angels, 24-14 on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the 16-20 Mariners on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the 15-19 Rangers on a 2-game win streak, followed by the 15-23 Athletics on a 3-game losing streak. Mariners and Mets actually faced off in the series. Paul Sewald facing his former team. Kelenic would have also been, but he was sent down prior to the series. That's the AL West standings update and the AL standings update. For the NL East, Mets are in first place, 23-13 on 1-game losing streak, followed by the 17-18 Phillies, who were on a 4-game win streak at one point, but ended on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Braves, 16-19 on 1-game win streak, followed by the 16-20 Marlins on a 2-game losing streak, followed by the 12-25 Nationals on a 2-game losing streak. NL Central standings, Brewers 12-3-13 on a 2-game win streak, followed by the 19-15 Cardinals on a 2-game win streak, followed by the 15-20 Pirates on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the 14-20 Cubs on a 3-game win streak, followed by the 9-26 Reds on a 2-game losing streak. And then the NL West standings, Dodgers 22-12 at one point were on a 4-game losing streak, ended on a 2-game win streak, followed by the 22-13 Padres on a 1-game win streak, followed by the 21-14 Giants, who were at one point on a 6-game win streak, ended on a 1-game win streak, followed by the 18-18 Diamondbacks, who ended on a 3-game losing streak, followed by the 17-18 Rockies, who were at one point on a 5-game losing streak, ended on a 2-game losing streak. That's the standings update. And then for today's schedule in baseball, we have a few doubleheaders. The first of which, Royals at White Sox. This game one had already started at 2:10 p.m. Second game will start at 7:10. First game was between Dylan Cease and Jonathan Heasley. Cease for the White Sox, Heasley for the Royals. Second game will be between Davis Martin for the White Sox, Brasinger for the Royals. Next doubleheader, Diamondbacks at Dodgers. This first game already started at 3:10 p.m. Second game starting at 10:10. First game between Gilbert for the Diamondbacks and Pepio for the Dodgers. And then game 2 between Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks, Tyler Anderson for the Dodgers. And then the last doubleheader, Cardinals at Mets. Game 1 already started 3:10, and the game 2 later on. Miles Michaelis for the Cardinals, Trevor Williams for the Mets in game 1. And then game 2, Steven Matz for the Cardinals, Taijuan Walker for the Mets in game 2. Now for the non-doubleheader games. Reds at Guardians at 6:10 p.m. Connor Overton for the Reds, Zach Plesac for the Guardians. Tigers at Rays at 6:40 p.m. Bea Brisk for the Tigers, Shane McClanahan for the Rays. Nationals at Marlins at 6:40 p.m. Jonah Doan for the Nationals, Cody Poteet for the Marlins. Padres at Phillies at 6:45 p.m. Mike Clevenger going for San Diego. Last I had checked, Philly had not announced their starter. We'll see if that's changed since I had last checked. Yeah, it's going to be Zach Eflin for Philly tonight in that game. For Philly. New York at the Yankees at Orioles at 7:05 p.m. Jamison Tyone going for the Yankees. Spencer Watkins going for the Orioles. Mariners at Blue Jays at 7:07 p.m. Logan Gilbert going for the Mariners. Jose Barrios going for the Blue Jays. Astros at Red Sox at 7:10 p.m. Jose Urquidy going for Houston. Nathan Eovaldi going for Boston. Pirates at Cubs at 7:40 p.m. J.C. Brubaker going for the Pirates. Keegan Thompson going for the Cubs. Braves at Brewers at 7:40 p.m. Tucker Davidson going for the Braves. Adrian Hauser going for the Brewers. Angels at Rangers at 8:05 p.m. Reed Denver's going for the Angels. Taylor Hearn going for the Rangers. Giants at Rockies at 8:40 p.m. Alex Cobb going for the Giants. Chad Kuhl going for the Rockies. And then Twins at Athletics at 9:40 p.m. And Dylan Bundy going for Minnesota. James Kaprielian going for Oakland. And that is MLB schedule for tonight. And that is this week's episode of the podcast. If you are new, subscribe to the channel down below and leave a notification bell so you're notified when I go live or post a video. And if you want to get update, and if you want to listen on audio, all links are in the description under the link tree. That's going to be in the description. Go to the link tree and you can find any of where you can find my podcast on audio. Go follow me, my podcast on any of the audio platforms. So you can even want it. So if you rather audio, you can even get it on audio. And also, while you're there, you can even leave a review for the podcast, which would also be very much appreciated. Thank you so much for coming back for this week's episode. Next week, we'll have MLB Weekly Recap, NBA Weekly Recap with the draft lottery. And if there's any NFL news between now and then, we'll mention that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week back with the intro-outro song. See you then. Bye.